Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Arrowette. And I know a lot of people probably like, who's Arrowette? And she's been so forgotten that even I was like, God damn it, I forgot this character kind of existed, which is kind of funny how life goes with this character. But um let's talk about Cissie King Jones, the forgotten Arrow, the forgotten Archer of the DC universe. Okay, so the reason why I want to talk about her is because I kind of find it weird that she just recently made well, she didn't recently, but she made an appearance in Brian Michael Bendis' Young Justice run, and I didn't even realize that was her, and I didn't even realize that she made an appearance in Young Justice as well, season 3 Outsiders. Which, let's be honest, Young Justice season 3 Outsiders probably the worst season of Young Justice I've ever seen, but even then, that's how sporadic this character's been. Excuse me. So, of course, if any of you guys know, Arrowette is a legacy character, and her main fame is being part of the Young Justice team. Really, she is the daughter of Bonnie King, the original Arrowette, but they call her Miss Arrowette. Um, so basically, she was trained from a young age to take up her mother's role as Arrowette. You know what I'm saying? Like, her mother was this Olympic archer, and she wanted her to kind of also be there following her thing. So, it's kind of crazy, you know what I mean? But I mean, let's talk about her history. Let's basically talk about a little bit of her history really much. You know, Cassie was the daughter of Bonnie King and the Star City reporter Bonnell Bowstring Jones. Their family lived a happy life until some bad shellfish. Oh God, that was probably so stupid. So if any of you guys know, her dad is allergic to shellfish, which that is a real allergy, which that can take you out quick if you don't have an EpiPen. But luckily, the dad had a large insurance policy on himself, so the mom was able to get more money. I mean, get a large sum or whatever. Well, of course, she was the silver aged Arrowette, but they called her Miss Arrowette. So her mother insisted that her daughter achieve the same level as her when she was in her prime and when she was a superhero back in the day. So Bonnie developed a psychological disorder and forced Cassie to train constantly. Apparently this happens after she saw Green Arrow and Speedy in action. She developed trick arrows, and you know um called herself Miss Arrowette. The mother did. This is I mean, not the mother, I mean, Sissy did. I'm so sorry. Sissy did. So after she got all the training that she did from her mother or whatever, her mother was like a stage mom for superheroes, which that is really kind of crazy. I just kind of find it funny because it's just like you have this character who probably didn't want to be a superhero, but because her mother was a superhero and saw how well Green Arrow and Speedy was doing, was like, no, you're going to train. You're going to be Olympic. You're going to be Olympic trainer in archery, and you're going to do what I used to do when I was growing up, when I was a superhero. And apparently, I didn't even know this because I didn't even read the Impulse book. But apparently, she made her first appearance in Impulse book, where she goes to Keystone City and talk to Max Mercury about mentoring her because she couldn't take her mother's, craziness, and she wanted to be trained by other people, which I don't blame her because, when you have a stage mom like that who's so delusional, who needs Jesus, to be honest, wants you to like live out their fantasy at being a superhero, it is a little bit of pressure. But she did help them defeat the supervillain Spaz, and Max did grow concerned about Bonnie forcing her daughter to become a hero. So Max gets child services involved, and Bonnie loses custody of her daughter. And Sissy is sent to a boarding school called St. Ellis School for Girls. However, Sissy continues to be trained while overseas by Dr. Marcy Money, who observed that she was really good at archery, better than her mother. So Max Mercury, this is kind of funny. Max Mercury decided that, hey, your mother's crazy, so we need to call child services or whatever. When she gets to this school, and one of the doctors noticed how amazing she is at archery and way better than her mother was in her prime, which leads her to continue to train, and which leads her to join the Young Justice team. She is the fourth member, I believe, and then after that, that's is Cassie. So if any of you guys you guys watch Young Justice, and if any of you guys know how Artemis kind of saved the boys' lives or whatever, it was harping back to Sissy actually saving the boys' lives when they were attacked. It's kind of funny. They made Artemis. They made Artemis for the show instead of actually just bringing in Sissy Lane, and then they bring her in. I mean, Cissie King. They bring her in, but with no speaking role, and nobody even knew it was her. Excuse me. So basically, she was facing a criminal harm, but injured him by using one of her own arrows against herself. She escapes and contacts the teenage superhero teams Young Justice. Together they defeat harm with the help of his sister Secret and the new Wonder Girl. So this is where these girls start coming into the team, because at first it was just the three boys, Impulse, Robin, and Superboy Connor Kent. And then she came in. I believe she came in before Cassie, and then Secret came in afterwards. But again, it was another harping off of, how that's kind of how like Young Justice kind of started or whatever. And that's how like the show got its idea, because it was literally taking a little bit of storylines from what Sissy was doing in order to, create this whole thing with Artemis and stuff like that. But they wasn't fighting Mazo Robot, but still pretty cool because it was another character. Oh, excuse me. The sorry. Of course, you guys know, like, if you guys read the Young Justice run, I mean, I'm not about to go in depth with her history, because it is really not really much of nothing, really, because it's just her working on the team and her getting close with the girls, and how she kind of had a crush on, I mean, not no, did she have a crush? I think it was her. I mean, I know one girl had a crush on Superboy, and I think Superboy was into her, but she wasn't interested, I believe. So that was kind of one of those things. Um, basically most of her story takes place in the Young Justice run. So if you pick up the Young Justice run from the '90s, that's really her story. I know this is kind of one of those like little things where it's just like, well, what more depth can you really do? There's not really much of nothing. She really is. She's there. She's not really much of a main character, but she is there. If that makes sense. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. So okay, so here's where some of the stuff gets kind of crazy. Um, she decides to reconnect with her mother and train for the summer games in Sydney, Australia. Sissy ends up winning gold and becoming something of a celebrity upon her return to the United States, where she's offered a guest spot on a TV show. Oh God. Then excuse me, my nose is like killing me right now. But she doesn't return. She really doesn't return to the team much. Because she's kind of like a little mini celebrity. She still hangs out with some of the Young Justice, but now she just stays as a regular schoolgirl or whatever. With living a normal life, she has no desire to return to the life of heroics, even though her family and friends think she should. The team invited her to come back, but she doesn't want to. So that's one of the interesting things about this character too, is that she had such a quick tenure as a superhero. So like right after certain event, what event was that? Oh yeah. So right after the event of her of Dr. Macy Money getting killed, is the only adult that Cissie ever trusted. She tracks down and the killers to avenge him, and she nearly kills one of them herself. But Superboy stops her and consoled her. And ever since Dr. Marcy Money died, that was it for her. She was done with superhero, and she entered the Olympics for Sydney, Australia. She did well with that one. She reconnected with her mother. She decided that she's going to be a regular teenager. People want her to still be a hero, but she was like, no, I'm done being a superhero. And that's pretty really much it, really. I mean, she appears during the Imperial X War arc, but she's basically doing medical field work, to be honest. So like, she is not even doing that. And then of course, when her friend Wonder Girl wanted to enroll into the school, she was rejected. Cassie kind of threatens the administrators and was like, "Hey, I can shoot you with this arrow, or you can let my friend into the school." And they was like, "Yep, you can do it. You can definitely enter the school." And they did. And they even they even tried to invite her with Titans. She said no to that one. And the last thing for Cassie is that she decided to show up, to hang out with Wonder Girl, Cassie, because she became close little friends with her as well. And that's the last thing of that one was that was during the time that Superboy was brain controlled. And after that, she kind of took a back seat to the DC universe, really, which is kind of crazy because. And then the next time we saw her was literally in Brian Michael Bendis' Young Justice thing, where she was contacted by Bart Allen, where they was like, "Hey, we really need you right quick," and she decides to help the team infiltrate Star Labs compound in the Constellation in New Mexico, and that was it. That was literally it for the character, and she went right back to being a normal teenage girl. And I always kind of find it kind of interesting where you have this superhero character where she kind of had her little arc of being a superhero, but she just decided to retire, and that's it. But I do think that she could have done more when with if she was part of like the Green Arrow book line or whatever. Like, she never really communicated with Green Arrow or any of the Speedies, Red Arrow, none of them. So she's this great archer like they are, but she has no connection to them at all, which is kind of funny. Is kind of weird, like to have a character that can do archery but has no connection to Green Arrow at all. Nobody in the Green Arrow family. I just kind of find it funny, like that DC kind of gave her like this short-lived thing just to push her out the way, just to introduce Mia, this new Speedy character. She's the new Speedy, who is a female adoptive daughter of Black Canary and Green Arrow, the one that was lauded for having AIDS or HIV. She had it. But other than that, Arrowette's been Cissie King. I mean, been really just taking a back seat to it. I kind of find it interesting, but what I would have did with the character, since they were going to retire her, I would have had her either go to the Green Arrow books, that way she can play a supporting character, or I would have spent it off where I would have had Wonder Girl Cassie Sandsmark. She would have had a solo run, and she would have been a prominent side characters, because we know that Cassie and Cissie are long term friends, and it would be nice to see DC do something with her, like with Young Justice. You brought her back, why not do something with her? That's all I'm saying. Just do something with her. Might as well. What harm is there in it? Nothing at all. So I just kind of think that's kind of funny. Like you brought this character back, but you haven't done anything with it, and then you retire the character off, and then that's it. Like she's retired into absurdity, and I just was wondering, like, why don't we do something different with her? Because like I said, with me, I think she could be a good supporting character. She can appear in books and be supporting a supporting character. That's why I feel like it's is especially when with Cassie Wonder Girl, she should have a solo book, and Sissy should be a mainstay since they go to school together. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, sorry guys. It makes sense to do something like that with the character. That way the character's not completely off. And you don't have to bring her back. You don't have to bring her back. I mean, as a superhero, she can always be one of those characters that appear when it needs to, like she can suit up when it really, really, really needs to happen. But if not, I understand why she's not a superhero, because not every character is made to stay long term. But I really do feel like since she does have a legacy, and it's kind of weird that they didn't really go into depth with that legacy of her being the daughter of the original Arrowette, and the fact that Green Arrow, nobody from the Green Arrow family even tried to talk to her or bother with her, is weird as well. But yeah, I mean, that was like the quick little history of it. That's why I said she's the forgotten one, because even I didn't know that she was in the Young Justice Brian Michael Bendis run, and I didn't even know that she was in Young Justice TV series season 3, because she doesn't even speak or anything, and the costume that they put her in is so unrecognizable from what Arrowette I know. That, and then even Brian Michael Bendis gave her the Young Justice TV costume, which I thought was stupid. It was like, why not give her the costume that is iconic for her? That way people can know who the character is. That's all I'm saying. I understand some people be like, well, I don't know, the costume could be problematic and all that kind of nonsense. And I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Who cares? Like, it's an iconic look for her. Put her in a costume where people can be like, oh, that's the character. You know what I'm saying? It is kind of cool to kind of see a forgotten character get some kind of spotlight, but not much. And I hope DC would do more with the character, but I doubt it. That's why I'm saying that this character is officially the forgotten Archer. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. Comment section below. Do excuse me. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with me right now. I'm over here sniffing and all that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below about Cissie King. Are you guys interested in Arrowette? Do you guys know Arrowette? Were you guys familiar before I talked about it? I'm just saying, I just kind of want to hear everybody's opinions and thoughts about this character. Do you think DC should do more with this character, or do you think that even if they do more with this character, do you think she should stay as a supporting character, or should she take up the mantle again? Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.